Is she promoting it every time?
But every smart people in the Toastmasters already. Yeah.
Yeah. But please tell Lyazzat that I am promoting actively in case. Let's just this. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're live. Just okay. So we are live on YouTube, just for your information. If you want to say anything, that's yeah, public. So today, I'm so happy that my personal friend and well, as Evgeny already checked, someone I know from Toastmasters community, and we have worked together in leadership at Toastmasters as well. Lyazzat Sagandykova. She has learned Chinese for many years. I don't know, since you were a kid, maybe, I don't know, but I know 10 years was the time. So that's about, you started when you were 8, probably. And Lyazzat was also exposed to 2 languages, 2 dialects of Chinese. I let her comment, but I know we missed her and her husband, who are my personal friends, when they were off to Hong Kong for a year, where Lyazzat realized that they speak Cantonese. And so today I'm excited to learn which dialect we're going to get from Lyazzat today. And hopefully this is not the first time, this last time that you're with us. So we'll look forward to more. Anyway, the floor is yours. And please welcome Lyazzat Sagandykova, our Chinese teacher today. Ding, 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 ding.
Thank you. Thank you, Alia, for such a warm introduction. So hi, everyone. Again, my name is Lyazzat. Before we start, I just want to ask you to prepare some, something where you can write, because we are going to practice a little bit of Chinese characters. And yeah, we will be doing it during our lesson. So yeah, my name is Lyazzat. I started to learn Chinese when I was, well, let's say 19, and it was many years ago. I was studying in China, in different cities. Like I was studying in Harbin, which is on the north, and I got my master's there in Xi'an, a beautiful place. And also, as Alia mentioned, I was working in Hong Kong for 1 year, and came back last year. I used to work with Chinese companies, so all my professional life and my hobbies, they all are related to Chinese language. So when the people ask me, do you have any hobby? I used to say like, do you have lifelong hobby? Not like for 2 years or 3 years. I used to answer, this is Chinese. It's not only my job, but it's also my passion. And today we are going to, well, I understand that it's impossible to learn a lot, during just one lesson, but I just want to give you some taste of this language. I believe this is why this club exists. You give this taste of language, and then people decide, like, do they need to learn this language more deeply or not? And I'm going to share my screen today with you. So 1 second. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So before we start with Chinese, let's see clearly, like, about which language we are talking now, because a lot of people, they just mess up with, like, words like Chinese or Mandarin. Someone use Cantonese, someone talk about dialect. So things you should know, so that there are dialects in Chinese, and when you say Chinese, it usually technically it's like not detailed explanation. You say Chinese, but you're not, like, giving detail what type of Chinese is. So Chinese is just one whole name of this language group. And then we go with the Mandarin. I'm sure some of you have heard about this name. This modern language, which all China speaks, is official language of government and mainland China. So all China language that they speak, this is Mandarin. Mandarin is a Western name of the language, and Putonghua is a Chinese name of their language. So Mandarin and Putonghua, they are the same. You can say I speak Mandarin, or I speak Putonghua. Both of them are the same. and you mean that this is the official language of People's Republic of China. When it comes to dialects, it's different because there are a lot of dialects in China, and they are still very, very active. So you will go any region in the world, in China, and you will speak different dialects. Almost every region it has. And now they use both, like Mandarin and own dialect. And Cantonese, it can be considered as a dialect because it's like Chinese, but it's so special and it's so different from Mandarin. So now we say that Cantonese is like a different type of dialect in Chinese because it's a totally independent language. When I moved to Hong Kong and tried to speak with them this Mandarin language, well, it didn't work well. Some of them speak, but they really do prefer to speak Cantonese language. So today we are going to learn and speak a little bit of Mandarin because since this is my professional language and this language is more, let's say, perspective now because like the whole China speaks it, and anyway you will go like study Chinese or Mandarin, or you will go traveling there, so anyway you will need this Mandarin language. So next time when you say which language do you speak, if people answer you Chinese, so you may just concrete like okay, which Chinese, is it Mandarin or it's a dialect or it's Cantonese, which language is that? Well, and now before we start, today we want to learn to write some Chinese characters. That's why you need your pen and paper there. I will just give you some 3 characters, how we write it, how we work with that, and just to give you this understanding or general idea of how this is all working. Before we start, the main thing that you should know about Chinese characters. I'm not going today too deeply, so it's just very general, but you know that Chinese they use characters. And when we need to read this character, we need to have this transcription. And this transcription we call pinyin. This is how we read this character. So for example, when we foreigners start to learn Chinese, we are not starting with directly character because it's impossible just to look at it and read what is that, right? So we just have a look and they say, okay, and this is pinyin. So we pronounce it as like ma. And the third thing you should know, it should have own tones. There are 4 tones, like, maybe you have heard the Chinese, a very like, musical language. I'm not also going very deeply to it, so just remember that there are tones. So this is the first tone, and we usually pronounce it as a ma. So maybe you should try read with me now. Please turn on your microphones.
Ma.
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 Okay, good. So, and the meaning of this character, and ma is a mom, mommy. It's like very international, right? And now, let's see our first character, and I want you to learn it to write. And here I prepared you the direction, like how to write it. You see, this is very simple character, and it consists only of 2 parts. And on screen, you can see what is the direction, how to write and what to write first. Please try to write, and at the same time, I will be explaining you the meaning. The meaning is a human or a person, and we read it as a ren. And you may try with me. Ren.
Ren.
Okay. Ren.
Ren.
Okay. Nila, I can't hear you.
Ren.
Okay, good. Very good. So, did you write this character?
Still trying.
Yes, this is very simple. So you just put one and another. You may write several times if you want to practice how to write it, like ren, ren, ren. And yeah, I know it's very difficult to do it online. That's why online Chinese classes are not very popular, because usually when you write these things, you should be near and just, controlling how the student is writing that. But let's try do it. And after writings, I will check it. So are we done with ren?
Well, now that you said you're going to check it, we're trying hard.
No, just look at it as a, drawing some nice pictures. Yeah. So this is the beauty of Chinese characters. So it's always very fascinating. Yes, good, very good.
The tricky part is the second, like you have to fill the.
Oh no, it's like it shouldn't be like you can just use like this and like this. You cannot feel it that.
Yeah.
This is just a style of writing, because for example, if I type this Ren word, it will look like this. See? So usually typing and oh, can you show me again? I didn't see. Oh, good, very good. Yes, keep going. I get you. How is that?
Yeah, it's good. I'm just trying to wait.
Okay, just follow
I made
what's it.
name
And
Arya. Yeah.
yes.
Like this.
Oh, good. Oh, this one is beautiful. It did as all like this, almost like this. Nice job. And okay, I don't see Evgeny and Aituar's cameras, so maybe
I don't have a camera, so that's why I probably
okay.
cannot.
Then you will no worries. You will have chance to post it later in Instagram. I will have a task for you on this.
Okay.
And let's see the next one. So this is Ren, person, human. Another word is that we are going to learn today is this. It's a mouse. It's usually, it's also quite simple. And we pronounce it as a ko. So you can repeat after me. Ko.
Ko.
Okay, ko.
Ko.
Cool.
Yes. And here we also have this direction how to write. The directions of all parts of character is very important in Chinese. So when we learn Chinese in universities, if you write the character in different direction, teacher usually wouldn't accept that, will not accept it. He said it's not right. So it's very important to follow the rules. But today we are very relaxed. So just as you feel, please have a writing of this ko. So how is it?
Good.
Okay, very good. Yeah, just keep your drawing. I will need it a little bit later.
Okay.
And the next one, the third. This is big or large character. It's a little bit close to this Ren, which is a person, but still one more part. And the pronunciation is also very easy. It's da.
Da.
As you say in Russian, yes, right. Da.
Da.
Okay. Evgeny, can't hear you.
Da.
Da. Okay, good. And the writing is same, like you first put this, then you go with this, and finish with the last one. Okay. And when we know now 3 characters, so this is big, large, da, and ko, which is mouse, and ren, which is human person, we already can do a lot of words from this. So let's try to check each other. Which character is this? The first one.
Da. Da.
Oh, good, da. Da. So when you pronounce, it's just like, you're just beating it. Da.
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 Yeah, good. What is this?
Ko.
Ko.
Oh, good. And the last one?
Ma.
Ren.
Ren,
Ren.
yes, right. Okay, this is da, ko, ren. So what is the meaning of the first character?
Big. Large.
Right. Yes. The second one, cow.
Mouse.
Okay, good. And then,
Person.
Person.
okay, good.
Can
So-
we say person with the big mouse, for example?
Yes, so this is what we are going to do. If you put like this, it will be how you will read this together.
Person and mouse.
Yeah, I mean in Chinese. Remember this?
Oh.
Dako.
Dako, right. So this is a big mouse. If we put here this one, then it will be
Daring.
Daren, right? And the meaning is like adult. You may also put Ko with Ren. Then it will create a new word, which means population. Ren, Ko. So you can play with these characters in Chinese, and every time, you know, there is a new word, very when you don't expect it. So Ren, Ko, and you can put this Da here, and then it will be Da Ren Ko, which means a big population.
Wow.
Yes. So
We learned so many words just by learning 3 characters.
right.
Incredible.
And so we made a Da Ko, we made a big mouse, a big person. We can say Ren Da, which means like quite close to adult, but here it's like person growing. So some person is growing like this. So this is the idea of how we usually do this, you know, words in Chinese. So we put different characters together, and sometimes it's so easy. I mean, grammar in Chinese, it's, I think, the most maybe easy, the easiest grammar that I've ever met. There is no literally, like, you know, changings or endings or some special, you know, change of time. So you just, every time, it's very simple. There is a structure, and for example, if you want to change, like to say about a certain time, like, you know, yesterday or in the future, just put one word like yesterday or tomorrow. So if I'm going to promote this language, the first thing I would say is that grammar is so easy. It's like, if you will understand, you know, these characters and the pronunciations in grammar, it will be like the perfect thing. Like, never nothing difficult about that. Okay, so if you finished all this writing thing, I encourage you to make a picture of your writings and post in Instagram, and tag Language Mixer, and you maybe also put this hashtag Chinese with LM. Then I can check and give you a feedback, and it also can be a memory for you, like how did you write your first characters of your experience. Okay, so this was a basic understanding of what is a character, how we pronounce it, and how the structure in the sentence works. Going not deeply to grammar and all these things, I want to share with you some other interesting information. Like Chinese is so interesting language that, and it is so special. I mean, including the country and the culture, it always was so closed. And this language, it has so specific phonetic system, so it's so difficult for them to, you know, to receive some foreign words. And, you know, maybe you've heard, like, sometimes Chinese, when they speak English, they have a very heavy accent, or some words they pronunciate, it's a little bit different. And maybe sometimes in the beginning, it's a little difficult to understand that. And it works for everything. When something from another country comes to China, it should be localized. You cannot take one name and use it the same in China. And one interesting thing is about different world brands, which enter to Chinese market. When they enter to Chinese market, they have to choose appropriate name. It cannot be like, you know, we have this Volkswagen car, and you cannot use Volkswagen in China because people will not use it, and you know, this is will be a big marketing fail. That's why every brand which comes to China, they should localize their names. Sometimes it's a direct translation of the meaning of this brand. Sometimes it gives a transcription of this word, like the close pronunciation. Sometimes it makes it they do it like mixed version. So for example, I want to share just with you some examples. You know which brand is this?
Nike.
Right, this is Nike. So when Nike entered the Chinese market, they had to choose some special name because even pronunciation Nike, when the word ends with K, it's difficult to pronounce for Chinese. That's why Nike they choose the Chinese name, and it's pronounced like Nike. So it's quite close to the original name, but same time it has own meaning. So Nai, this is the first character. It translates as the endurance of passions. So it's quite close to the concept of Nike, right? So if you tell to Chinese Nike, maybe they will not understand, but you say Nike and they will understand, whoa, this is a good brand. And next, it's a Coca-Cola. And Coca-Cola was one of the first companies which entered the Chinese market after the Cultural Revolution last century. And of course, they were thinking about a good name. So if you want to have a good sales in China, you should choose a good Chinese name for that. And for cola, it was chosen as a Coca-Cola, which means, so Coca means a great taste, and La is a joy. So it means like having a great taste and joy, which makes perfectly, it's quite close to Coca-Cola name, like by pronunciation, but also the meaning. And sometimes this Coca-Cola we use in a shortened version, it's Cola. So usually people say Cola, and Coca-Cola is was very successful on Chinese market, especially taking into consideration that was one of the first companies, from West world. So this is Cola. Yeah, just help me to pronounce. Let's pronounce all together. Cola.
Cola.
Okay, one more time, all together. 1, 2, 3.
Cola.
Cola.
Good. Because if you go to China and people ask, can you give me Coca-Cola? Maybe in big cities, they will understand, but you go to small cities, it will be like, what do you need from me? And you say, I need cola, and they will understand. And same, we forgot to train the pronunciation of Nike.
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 Okay, good.
Nike.
Oh, this one was good.
Wow.
Very close. Okay, next one. McDonald's is also very popular in China, and of course, the word McDonald's would be a little bit difficult to pronounce for Chinese, so it has its name, which is 麦当劳. 麦当劳.
麦当劳.
麦当劳.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, good. So in this case, there is no special translation for this word, but I found out that that's like, the first character means wheat, and some products of McDonald's is made of wheat, and they have this lao, the last character, which means hardworking. So, and I think who works in Maidang Lao, they're hardworking people. So this is how you can connect words to remember that. So this was a Maidang Lao example, and this is BMW. When they entered to China market, they had very successful company of their Chinese name, and the Chinese name is Baoma, which means Bao is a precious and Ma is a horse. So it's a precious horse, and this worked really perfectly for Chinese market. So let's try with me. Baoma.
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 Alma.
Oh, good. So, And the last one I want to share is IKEA. And IKEA is also doing very good business in China. And their Chinese name is Yijia, which means convenient, cheap, suitable. And Jia is a home. So it's like you go there, you buy things to have a convenient, suitable home for a cheap price. So let's try 一家
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 Okay, good. So let's check. Who remember what is Bauma?
BMW.
Why not so confident? Yes,
Yeah,
right. This is BMW cars. Bauma is a precious horse. Do you remember that? About horse. So the next one, what is Cola?
Coca-Cola.
Coke,
Good, very good. And Nike.
Nike.
Nike,
Okay, good. 一家
IKEA.
IKEA,
麦当劳
McDonald's,
Good.
Does
McDonald's.
anybody remember the meanings?
So maybe Evgeny, you will help us to read once all these names.
Yes. 宝马 可乐 Nike 一家 麦当劳
Oh, very good. You're doing very good. So if you go to China, you will not have a problem, at least with these 5 brands. And let's check, how do you remember Chinese names of this? So Gideon, do you want to try? Which one do you remember?
Bauma, Hija, Coke, nah,
Cola, you can say the short version. Yes, right.
yeah, Nike, what was McDonald's? Maidang.
Okay. Oh, very good. You already remembered almost all of them. I think this is great. And okay, 1 second. So, Nilay, do you want to try? Yeah, I'll help you. Which one do you remember?
Maidanla.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Do you remember Coca-Cola?
Koki.
Okay, you can use the short version, which is Cola.
Yeah.
Kele.
All right, Cola. Okay, do you remember the meaning of BMW?
Me.
Yes. Or pronunciation?
Pronunciation. Bomo with Bomo.
Bauma.
Bauma.
Yes, yes. Good, good. So, and I'm not sure is Aitwar online or not. Shall I ask him?
I'm actually, yeah,
Yeah.
just came.
Okay, so you just recently joined. You didn't hear the previous part, right?
No, I was listening to you.
Okay, I've heard my Lao. I think a little bit have some problems with connection or what, or it's just me. I cannot hear properly. Okay, I've heard my Lao.
That's okay. That's it.
Okay. Then this is it about the foreign brands. So every time when you see a different, you know, another brand which comes from Western world, it used to have its own Chinese name. And there are a lot of examples when foreign brand comes to Chinese market and they didn't choose the right name and they really failed there. So this is very important for marketing. And same with countries. So if sometimes in like rest of the world we generally can use the same word or the same country, like the same name of country, and usually like pronounce the same. So in China is quite different. It has its own names of countries. And it's also sometimes it's about direct transcription, sometimes about translation of the meaning, and sometimes about mix of that. For example, Germany, this the second part. Sorry, 1 second. This Guo means country. So usually it will be in every country's name, just in the end, like Guo, something, something, Guo. Germany pronounced as a De Guo. And generally from the first feeling, if you want to remember this name, you can see that De is a morality. So sometimes it can be referred to as a country of morality. And this is a beautiful explanation, but I think in fact there is also a different maybe variant of how did they choose this name, because maybe they look to the original name in like German language, how Deutschland, and they choose this the Do and put the same pronunciation like the. But I mean, like personally, I like more this explanation, like the Go as like country of morality. So let's try with me all together. De Guo,
De Guo,
De Guo,
De Guo, De Guo.
Very good. Then we go to the next country, is France, and this is Fa Guo. Fa means a law, so it can be referred to the country of law. Fa Guo, but I think maybe here's work something with pronunciation, like France starts with F and they also choose some word close to that. This is far, but you can remember it as a country of law in Chinese. So
just a second. I need to take a photo.
yes, sure. And let's pronounce it all together. Fa Guo,
Fa Guo.
Fa Guo.
Fa Guo,
Favo.
Okay. Hao means good. And we are ready to switch to the next country, which is England. And it's pronounced as the Ingguo. Ing means hero, so I refer it to the country of heroes. But same, it can also be produced from England, because England, ing, is very close to this ing. So it depends on you which version you would like to use. So let's try all together. Ingguo.
Ingguo. Oi.
Okay, one more time.
Guo.
Ingguo.
Ingguo,
Ingguo.
Oh, good, very good. And next we have America, which is a Mei Guo, and Mei means beautiful. So usually when we say like beautiful girl, a beautiful place, we use this word Mei. And that's why we can say that Mei Guo is a beautiful country. And I don't have any other explanation because Mei is not close to this America thing. So we just leave this version. Okay, let's try all together. Mei Guo.
Mei Guo.
Mei Guo.
Mei Guo.
Okay. So this is just for these countries, but the majority of the countries in the world, they have just, direct transcription, like our country, which is Kazakhstan. But if you give, they just give a direct transcription of the pronunciation. So in Chinese, Kazakhstan will be Kazakhstan, which is quite long and difficult. That's why there is a short version, which is Haguo here.
Guo,
Haguo.
Guo. Does Ha means anything?
Yes, but it doesn't relate to our country, I hope, because Ha means direct this, sound of laughing, like, ha, ha, ha. So we used to write this character like ha ha ha. And when we're learning Chinese, when we're learning Chinese and we met like, you know, with the name of our country, like ha, we're like, what? Why? Then like the teacher was explaining
Love
it.
having fun.
Yes, maybe. But usually for the rest of the word, like for the majority of countries, there is no meaning of this character. Just it's the closer pronunciation. So this Satan part usually works for all other countries in Central Asia. So like Uzbekistan is like Uzbek Satan, and Kyrgyzia is like DRD Satan, and so on. So it's not so a romantic and beautiful explanation as it was for England and France and other countries, but still remember, Hagwa is a Kazakhstan in Chinese language. Well, this is it's about countries, and let's check. So who wants to say the translation of these countries? So the first one, 美国. Which one is it?
America, beautiful country.
Right. So May is beautiful. So 美国 is America. Okay. Next one is 德国.
德国, Germany.
Whoa, right. Do you remember what means the?
Country of morality.
So yes, the is morality overall, and 德国, country of morality. You see Germany, right? Okay, the third one, 英国.
Country of heroes.
Which is what?
England.
Right, England. Right. Okay, 法国.
Kazakhstan.
Right.
Funny country.
Yeah, funny country.
And we
And
are funny people.
And 法国.
France.
Right, this is France. So, Alia, do you want to read it once?
Um, 美国, 美国, 英国, 法国, 法国. I know that.
Good. This is good.
Yeah.
This is very good. And yeah, let's try to check how did you remember this. So, who remember France?
法国.
Good. Very good. Okay. United States.
美国.
很好. Very good. Germany.
德国.
德国.
Okay, good. And this, Britain, Great Britain.
英国.
英国, good, very good. Okay, and our funny country?
法国.
Hago, good, very good. I mean, this works very well. And another thing is, do you remember we learned the word person?
Ren.
Right, Ren. So if you will add, you know, in the end of each country's name, just, you know, Ren, it will become an American.
Wow.
Or you put this, it will be like German. England. Oh, how to say that? English. Yes. Haguoren will be like from like Kazakhstan, person from Kazakhstan. Same for France. Faguoren. French, yes. So this is how Chinese works. It's very simple. You just put additional words, this character, and there is a new word. You don't have to change the endings or something else. So this is very easy. Okay. And this is regarding this country's name. And of course, if you go to China, they also will not be able to pronounce your own name, because our names for them are quite exotic, and it's also quite difficult for them to say it right. So my name is Lyazzat, and when I went first to China to study, when I was in Harbin, teachers gave me this name, which is close just to my native name. and it's pronounced as a Lyazzat. And I was using this name like 1 year, I think, in China. I didn't like it much, but it was like, okay, if they understand and they can pronounce it, so no problem. Then when I went to another city to study there, people, like teachers were saying like, wow, this word is not good, because, you know, sometimes this za, if you pronounce it at a different tone, it can refer to, you know, to garbage. So it doesn't sound very good. And I was like, oh my God, I was using the whole year this, you know, za thing. And they said, so choose another name. And what foreigners usually do in China, they used to choose quite simple pronunciation of their name. It shouldn't be like 100% close to your original name. You can choose any one. So I choose my name, which pronounced now as a Lia, because it's a little bit close, so it starts with L, but the meaning of the characters. Sorry?
It's like mine almost.
Yes, right. And the character's meaning is also good, because like this first character, Li, it's a part of you know, flower. Of these flowers, they make a tea, which is quite famous. It means like the name is Molihua tea, and this Li is very beautiful character. And Ya means east, but this part, there is a small part between this. It means a woman. So it's like a flower from flower, Asian, how to say, Asian woman flower. Yeah, like this. You can do a translation like that. And it works for almost all foreigners in China. For some quite popular names, there is a already given translation, like names here, like Lisa, they already translated everywhere, like Lisha, and these characters, they use the same characters. Or Tom, they pronounce as a Tang Mu, and John pronounced as Yuan, and Mary pronounces as the Ma Li. And of course, you can choose by yourself what your name will be, but it's very important to look what is the pronunciation and what is the meaning of each name, like of each character. Because if you will choose something like my Zhao was, I think it wouldn't be very good. And now what we are going to do, let's try to write your names. It will be like this. I will just try to choose the most appropriate characters, and you will look and say, like, is it good for you or not? Then you can use this, you know, Chinese name anywhere. You can put a tattoo, you know, like a lot of people like to do that. And let's to start with Nilay. Nilay, your name matches perfectly to Chinese pronunciation, because it's there is no how to say consonants. Согласные звуки. So in Chinese, we usually there are no consonants are together, so it should be open, like ni lai. And I think it will be very easy to choose. The pronunciation will stay same. It will be like same ni lai, but if we come to characters, so for ni we can choose. Okay, there is a very, you know, common, you can use ni, which means you, and there is a lai, which means cow, but I mean, like, it's just like not for serious, but it will be the first characters come to my mind, but you can choose something different. So 1 second.
Ni also has a smile.
No, the smile is just staying there. So, do you like animals? We can choose something like, yeah, something like this. But I will check one more time what else we can choose. Nilay. Just have a look on these characters. If you don't like it, I will choose something different. And Aigirim, your name will be quite difficult for Chinese. I remember my friends who were studying in China, Yirim, and they changed their name. Like sometimes they would choose, you know, the full transcription, and it will be like I curly mu. So the first option is I curly mu, and
What
this
does
is there is no meaning. This is just pronunciation, you know, because it's close to I Girim. Maybe you don't feel this closeness, but for Chinese it will be close. So I Girim and I curly mu. But a lot of people, they just choose different, you know, styles. They maybe choose the first one, like I, and choose something like I Li, maybe. You may choose I Li or I Li Mu. Which one do you? There is a beautiful. Sorry?
What about the meaning? Like.
So for I, there is a beautiful character of love. So this is love. You can choose it I. Yes, and for Li, you can use, there is Li for this, the third one is for beauty. And there is a Li, like in my name, which is like flower, the second one. And I think this is the most good variant, these two.
Love beauty.
So this one. Okay, so you are going to be I Li.
Cool.
And Aliyah, for you it works like your name is also good for Chinese. It's like there are open sounds. Aliyah, so the pronunciation will be the same. Aliyah, and usually it works the first there is no good thing, but you just choose this one because no good character. All foreign names starting from they choose this one. So there is no special meanings, but it gives you the pronunciation of clear pronunciation of But you can choose a meaning for Li and Ya. So Li, same, you can use this beautiful or this flower. There are also others, but like this Li is an experience, and this Li is like respect, traditions, kind of this thing. This one is like very strong. Yeah, so others doesn't work well, I think, don't work well. So I would, this one Li means like ration or low, to be ration, рациональный. Rational, yes, kind of this. And this is the most famous surname name in China, Li. Yeah, this one means prophet.
I like the one about traditions.
This one, right? Ali and Ya. So same, you can choose Ya as in my name, which means Asia and girl. You choose just Asia, which is the third one. You may choose twos.
Asia and girl, like you.
Like, 1 second. This one, right? Okay. Okay, and I think we should go back to Nilay. I didn't write it well. Yeah, 1 second. I will just check this Nilay for you. Just to be sure that this is a good translation of the word. Okay, there is no translation. Okay. 1 second. No. Yeah, I think we can use this ni because it's very cute. And lie we can use. What is this lie? No, it's not good. Oh, this one. Okay, this one is good because sometimes we put in our names the name of beautiful places, and this is the name of one of the mountains. a lot of people used to choose a mountain's name in Chinese culture because mountains, it means like, you know, beautiful, so gorgeous, and like I had like 3 friends who choose this mountain name in their names. So how do you think? Is it okay, or we can choose another one?
Yeah, it's okay. I like it.
Great. So this is Nilay. Then okay, Evgeny left already. Aituar, we should choose one for Aituar.
Yeah, Evgeny has problems with Zoom, unfortunately.
Oh,
What
see.
does Lai mean? I mean, Lai, you said?
So this is the name of the beautiful mountain. So this is a proper name, имя собственное. And Ni is you, like you're a beautiful mountain, kind of this meaning.
Oh. Do you hear it, Nilay?
And we have Aituar. So Aituar, your name ends with R, which is quite difficult for Chinese to pronounce. Usually they cannot pronounce at all the R thing. So I would go with Aitu. If it's the direct transcription, then it will be like Aitu Ali. If you like this, if you don't like it, we can do as Aigirim, just to make a short version. Like, you know, Aitu or Aitua without R. What do you think about Aitua?
Well, I think eye to eye is good.
Okay, so for I, same as Aigirim, I don't know, do you want to use love character?
Yeah, sure. Why?
Yes, then we have 2, and so for 2 we have 2. This 2 means map. This 2 means it's like more about ground. I don't think that it will be good. Oh, this one means rabbit. Oh, this is interesting. 1 second, I will check this one. No, it's not that one. It was close to different beautiful character. I thought it was that one. 2.
You said second meaning was snap or
Map.
map.
Yes.
Well, map is also good. If, like
Gonna go with map. This one? Oh, not this one.
And I, what did you pick as I? Beautiful.
Love.
Oh, love.
I to A. So A will be like alias A. Because when in Chinese, when you write in Chinese your names, A usually choose this one. So it will be I.
So
to
love maps, traditional Eastern girl, beautiful love, and you are a beautiful mountain.
Yeah, so nice to meet you. Nilay, Aili, Alia, and Aitua. If you will meet some Chinese, you can say this name. If you go to China, same for that, you can just say this, and it will be easier for them to understand it, to communicate, and so on. So if you want this, sorry?
Could you write Evgeny's name? I promised him I'll send him because his Zoom crashed.
Oh, sure. So Evgeny, oh, it's also quite difficult. Evgeny. Yeah. So if it will be the direct translation, it will be like transcription. It will be like Fu Han. Fu Han. Yes, it will be Fu Han.
Like something.
Sorry?
Like the way name John was written.
Yuhan.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember that? Great. Yeah, it's close to that, but it's different. Yeah, it's not like, so in John's name it's like Yue, and is Evgeny's name it will be like yeah. So I think we can go with yeah, maybe we can go with Yehan. So it will be, Alia, just tell him that it will be the short version, like we did with Aigirim's name, like not the first, the direct transcription. Well, we can choose, wow, for year we have this wild character, we have night, we have leaves. I think leaves will be good.
What does it mean?
Just check. Yes, leaves, like листья.
And
what else? There is also a page. Oh, this one, I think this is fruit. Oh no, it's not fruit. So don't be surprised that I don't recognize characters. It's impossible to recognize all characters. There are 50,000 characters, and yeah, we just use the most common one. Oh, this should be the fruit. Yes. Does he want cocos?
So the first meaning is what?
So we can choose between leaves, like leaf, tree leaf, and how's it cocos in English?
Coconut.
Coconut. Which one do
I
you think
leaf
you
then.
leaf?
Yeah.
Okay, and then will be Han. Yeah, Han. We can choose. So yeah. Oh, this works for them, for him. Not this one. We can leave for him this Han, which is traditionally Chinese, but it can be, oh, this one is good. This can be used as, like, you know, a man thing. There is even a like proverb in Chinese. They say, like, it pronounced like something like fade out, Changcheng, something Han, which means like if you will climb to the great wall, so you are a true man. So in that proverb, they use this Han.
Oh, you Han then. So
yeah, Han.
Yeah. You.
So this can be like leaves, and this can be like man. I don't know, will it work like leaves and man? Yeah, so this is like, let's keep for now like this. This is a very actually long procedure of choosing the name. Like we are doing it like in 10 minutes, but in fact people choose. So when I was choosing my Lia name, I spent, I don't know, like 2 months to choose which one will be better, which one sounds good. So for these 10 minutes that we did, I think it's quite good. And if you want these characters like have to have in your phone, or I don't know where, I can send it now just in group chat here in Zoom, and you can just copy paste and put it somewhere, I don't know. And if you want to learn how to write it, you just let me know. I will share with you. So here it is.
Oh, we have Mahoko. Could you write her name? I didn't realize we have Mahoko.
Hi.
She's
nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Mahoko.
I know this is another, but do you mind writing her name?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe I already have my Chinese character's name, so maybe I can write it down in the chat.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, where are you from, Mahoko?
I'm from Japan.
Oh, then you should have your Chinese name.
Yeah.
真秀字. Wow, this is beautiful.
Thank
What does
you.
it mean?
Oh. So it pronounced like.
Does it mean anything?
真秀字.
It means truth.
Truth.
Yeah.
Cool.
真心子.
Yes, it's truth, and Hyo is like like be talented, right?
Yeah. Kind of talented.
Yes.
And the last letter is kind of very usual name for girls.
Yes. 真修辞. Oh, it's beautiful. How do you pronounce it in Japanese?
Mahoko.
Oh, so it's like just, wow, nice.
Yeah.
So now we have Chinese names for all. If you would like later to have it like in writings or in, I don't know, to explain the meaning of the names, just let me know. I will give you the information. Well, this is it for now. 1 second, where is my screen? Yeah. So what did we do today? We learned basic 3 characters. If you remember, ren, ko, and da, and we made different words from this, and we know how to say population, a big person, a big mouse, and we learned some Chinese names of world brands like Nike, Kele, Maidang Baoma, Yijia, and we also learned names of other countries like 德国, 法国, 英国, 美国, and our country is 哈国. And we also learned how to write our names in Chinese. And so if you have any questions, we can discuss it now. And don't forget before, like after the meeting, just put your writings of characters and tag language mixers so then I can see and give you a feedback, or maybe just to leave it as your memory.
Then I want a simpler character. Wait, I forgot. Can we change?
No, for this is just like these 3 characters, you know, that we learned. Not names, yeah.
Then it
Because
doesn't
yeah, names is quite difficult. That's why I said, like, if you want to learn how to write name, you just, you know, I can teach you in direct, because it will take a lot of, like, a little bit time. And for now, for today, we learned 3, da, ko, and ren, and we made different words from them. Okay, so this is it for what I have prepared for you. If you have any questions, we can discuss it now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was really interesting.
Yes, so interesting. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I think you guys have a good future in Chinese. Your pronunciation is nice. And you also, you know, remembered very, very quickly all these meanings. And generally, it's very interesting language. It always comes with something surprisingly, like you learn it, and like, whoa, like this character means this, and every character has its own history. And it's really amazing. You're not just learning the language, you're learning the culture. And it's amazing when you can see the development of each character from, you know, those where the ancient people were writing on stones until today. Sometimes there is even not a big difference. Right. And yeah, I think this is a really interesting journey, you know, of learning Chinese.
Lyazzat also want to say thank you. It was really practical lesson. I mean, learning names of the companies, countries, the name of Kazakhstan. I mean, very practical for anyone who just goes to China and then tries to communicate.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope it was useful. And I mean, for the simple words, I think you always can do in just like, you know, general dictionaries. But when it comes to some cultural things, like, you know, translation of names, countries, or brands, it's always interesting. I was while I was studying in university, one of my projects was, you know, researching this translation of foreign brands into Chinese. And, you know, this what is the tendency, how people choose these names, and this is really, really interesting topic. So if you go tomorrow to China, yeah, as I said, you will know at least some, you know, brand's name and country's name in Chinese.
By the way, how long have you been studying Chinese? I mean, how did it happen?
Well, I started it learning in 2008 when I was in university and was studying in Astana. And but the active studying was in China, and like in 2009, I went to Harbin city and learning Chinese there. Then I went to Xi'an, which is in the center of China, and was studying master there. So after that, after coming back to Kazakhstan, I used to work in Chinese companies. So all my work, like all my previous jobs and the current job, it's all related to China and Chinese language. So we always joke, like for those who learn Chinese, like this, if once you choose it, like you do it for the whole life, you cannot do this. Even when I got some, job offers from different companies, like from different different countries, not from Chinese companies, I'm like, no, I would like to go with Chinese companies because I used to work with them, and this is always a good practice. A little bit bad news about Chinese is like when you are not practicing it even for weeks, you can totally forget that. So you should always keep it, always practice. When I went last year to work to Hong Kong, I almost lost my Chinese, which is quite interesting because in Hong Kong they speak Cantonese. Like generally the whole year I wasn't using like Chinese, which is Putonghua, which is Mandarin, at all, because in my job I was using English, and outside there was the Cantonese, so I learned some basic Cantonese to buy things, so on, and my Mandarin wasn't useful. And when I came back to Kazakhstan, I had more chances to practice my Mandarin than it was in Hong Kong. And after that, I'm just trying to keep it, because it's very, very dangerous to forget the language.
Can I ask, by what criteria did you choose Chinese? Because it's practical and lots of people speaking it, or it came from the heart, like you chose it because you're really willing to learn it, no?
Well, initially I was having this interest to, Eastern culture interest. Like I was very interested in Japanese culture. I think I was even planning to learn Japanese in the beginning, but because in the city where I was living that time, there was no any Japanese courses. I was like, okay, because that time I really loved Japan. I was a fan of Japan football team. They were doing quite great on this world championship, and from that time I started feeling like interest to this characters, culture, because it's totally different from what we have here. After that, I also started to read about Chinese culture, and I found some courses in my small city where I was living, and I even attended some classes, I think. And after that, I just decided, yeah, I'm going to go with this direction, Eastern culture. I was studying in Astana to my bachelor degree, and my profession was a regional study, and each of us had to choose a region of the research. So my region was China and Southeast Asia, and we were studying it from different prospects, like of course language and history and economy and politics, and all this all aspects of life. Since that, I think it also works for me as a practical thing, because that a lot of Chinese companies in Kazakhstan, and you have a lot of choice of job, and for development. And China is also quite close. Even if you go there to study or travel or for a business trip, it's always close. It's very convenient. And of course, the interest, as I said already, like in the beginning, when people ask me what is my hobby, I used to say that this is Chinese, because I love this thing. I love writing characters. I love this culture. I used to watch a lot of Chinese soap operas, and and I have also a lot of Chinese friends, and I had my memories from living in that country. That's why it's like so close to me. It's like inseparable from me.
Okay, thank you. Great.
Can I also ask a question?
Yes, sure.
So some people say the pronunciation is the hardest part, and some people say learning Chinese character is the hardest part. What do you think? What was the hardest?
For me, the hardest thing was the pronunciation, because they say pronunciation in like learning Chinese would be easier for people who have this, good listening, like, people who sings well. For them it works better because they can hear very well. When I started to learn Chinese, well, this was a big problem for me because sometimes I never pronounce it right, because in some I said like there are 4 tones, and like 3 of them they were okay for me, and one, which is a second tone, was always a problem for me. And all teachers were like very crazy about that, like, why you should learn, you should practice, you should do that. And still I think till today, even I've learning it so many years, I still have problems with this pronunciation. It's just that when you speak a lot, it becomes a little bit fluent, so people do not notice. But if I will tell it very detailed, like every word, maybe some Chinese will listen like, okay, this tone has a problem. But if I will speak general, no problem, they will understand what do I mean. So if I go to teach Chinese, I should be careful about that, because I could give this to my students, like my wrong understanding of the second tone. But I'm working on that. And regarding characters, it is difficult, but there is a way to learn it. Like you just sit the first 5 years and write all these characters every day, and then it'll be very easy.
Okay, so in Japan, many people think the Chinese character should be very simplified. So we are sometimes trying to make it very simple when we write. Is that happening in China?
You mean using simplified version over the traditional one?
Yeah, kind of very abbreviated version of the Chinese character when you write, because it's very long.
You mean write like physical write by hand?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. It's nowadays there is a problem in China, like people used to always type in their smartphones or on the computer, and they never get used to write it. I don't know, is it common in Japan or not? But for Chinese,
super common, yeah.
Yes, so sometimes you can, you know this character, you know how it pronounced, you know the meaning, but you can forget what is the line there or how to write it.
And
Yes. So there is a problem, and I personally also have it because I also turned into this only typing style of work. And if you sometimes want to write something very fast to your notebook, you're just like, what is that and what is this? And it's good when you're learning it, because you pass all your exams by writing by yourself. That's why you remember it. But when you work, you generally do not use it. But since Chinese have the same problem, I'm like, okay, I like them.
Okay, interesting. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And in Japan, it's interesting, same problem, right?
Yeah, and we always type recently, right? And we don't write. So when I'm trying to write the Chinese character, I'm like, oh my gosh, how can I forget that easy Chinese character?
Yes, it happens really.
It happens. Yeah.
So, and that another thing about characters. So characters that we learn today, they are simplified characters. So there are 2 types of characters, because before it was traditional one, very, very, very difficult. And last year, the government, in order to let all people to learn the Chinese, they just made a simplified version. And this is what modern Chinese use, simplified version of Chinese. But there are still traditional characters, like this Zhen, it's a simplified version, Da, and all this Nai Ke. But if you go to this, like in Hong Kong or in Taiwan, they still use the traditional characters, and they are much more difficult. Like if in modern simplified version, you write a horse, it will be like this. And if you write it in, let me check, do they have it here? The traditional version. Okay. So this one is close, but not without the first part of 3. So this is a traditional version of this writing. So if you think that Mandarin is a difficult language, so just have in mind that there is a traditional version of writings in Hong Kong and Taiwan, and Mandarin is much more easier. Yeah.
Okay, then let's take a photo.
Yeah. Yeah, 1 second, I will turn on the light. Who is in charge of taking photo?
Okay, ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. Again, one more. Yes, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And how to say thank you in Chinese?
It's 谢谢.
Yes.
Yes, right. 谢谢.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Who will be saying?
Okay, then. Alia, are you ready? Today we had Chinese with Lyazzat. And we want to say to her,
Yes.
Okay.
谢谢你们，我非常高兴今天给你们讲了这本汉语课，希望大家都喜欢，希望大家都会将来学一学中文。如果有什么问题，就可以找我，你们的汉语老师莉亚。拜拜。
great.
So much. This was an amazing lesson as well. If anyone wants to add anything else, I know that you've already did.
Thank you very much again. Thank you.
That
Thank
was a really interesting lesson. Yeah, very practical. Yes, we wrote a lot of names, all our names. I was always wondering about this, and in the end, I wanted to, oh, shall we write our names? And yeah, it was like surprise. And I also, after all these countries, I wanted that will we write Kazakhstan, or I was wondering if Kazakhstan has a meaning, but it's actually funny meaning, like yeah. Now I feel like we're funny people.
Really a taste of the language. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. All right.
Really
Thank you
taste
very
of
much,
the
Lyazzat.
Thank
That
you.
was really good.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I really love, you know, the atmosphere in Language Mixer. I hope we will go soon to the offline meetings, and you know, same time, same place, Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and sorry for that. I couldn't pronounce your name correctly. Sorry. Okay.
So they were a smaller group. I don't know if we, if Aigirin, you want to still host a social out, but I really, I'm really happy that today we had Lyazzat. She's also a personal friend, so it's, you know, it's double fun. But I think you really, you know, we were just, it was our crew, like a small crew, but we were so writing things down and.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, don't forget to post it.
Yes, I will, and I hope everyone will. So remember the hashtag that Lyazzat came up with. I don't know when Mahoko joined. Unfortunately, I didn't see. But if you'd like to participate in the challenge, we're writing things down in Chinese and then posting them with this hashtag and our.
Oh, for Mahoko, it will be very easy. I think they have the same characters.
Yeah, I have advantage. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
We'll be
But
happy.
anyway, yeah, post it.
And Lyazzat, I think we're also entering the stage of Zoom fatigue for people, and so it's not really reflecting the interest. I'm sorry Evgeny was gone, but I'm glad that we had a good representation of people. Hopefully you were pleased with the students.
Yeah, sure. It's amazing. I mean, I really loved your pronunciation and, you know, this learning passion.
I think you should be a teacher. Yes.
I was. My master major is a teacher of Chinese for foreigners.
Ah, okay. Now I see. Okay.
It's just that I don't work as a
Okay,
teacher.
I didn't realize it. Okay, yeah. And sometimes you don't know about your friends too much. You know only that they're your friends. You don't know what they do. But I
That's
didn't know you were-
interesting.
Thank you. And we'd now be to decide whether we move on to the social end. I'll